shining brightly. We are just moments away from playoff baseball.
Hit the middle and through for a base hit. 1-0 Orioles.
A big run, a 2-run lead for Baltimore.
And the magical season of the Baltimore Orioles continues.
It is the 2023 American League Division Series. The Texas Rangers, the Baltimore Orioles. It's Aroldis Chapman out of the Rangers bullpen.
The second for one on to first, double play.
Aroldis Chapman finds his way out of the jam. Jonah Heim throws out Gunnar Henderson. 5 runs for the Rangers in the second, and they lead it 5-2.
Grand slam for Mitch Garver to give Texas a 9-2 lead.
Forget about it. Rangers strike first.
Adolis Garcia will touch them all.
He struck him out swinging, and the Rangers have swept the Orioles in the division series.
That was the beginning of the Texas Rangers road run to the World Series, undefeated on the road that postseason. As we come to you tonight from Globe Life Field, where the 2023 champs have their marks all over this ballpark. The Texas Rangers' first ever World Championship. Of course, the Orioles have won a few in the past, and they'd like to get back to the World Series. They haven't been since 1983. Wyatt Langford is on his way out to the field. We send it downstairs now to Heidi Watney.
Wyatt, there's been a lot of talk about what this Rangers team didn't do at the trade deadline, but then you have Jacob deGrom stand up and say he believes in this team. What does that do for this group?
Yeah, it's awesome. You know, Jacob's our guy, #1 pitcher on our staff, so we follow him.
It's been an up and down season for you with the injury, but your offense has taken off over the last month and a half. What's working for you?
Yeah, just go out there trying to win every day. That's it.
All right, thanks, Wyatt.
Thank you.
Well, that's nice and simple.
Sometimes you got to keep it that way, especially if you're going in the right direction. But, these are teams that have a chance to control their destiny. And this is going to be a quiet. And, everybody's being a politician in the locker room. There's some injuries. There's some guys that are playing. No. We're not buying that at Apple TV right now. They know the urgency. They understand that this is going to be a big matchup. And both sides feel like they have the right guy on the mound going up against each other.
Well, this veteran was a huge part of the Rangers World Series run 3 years ago. Nathan Eovaldi, a 10-game winner already this year.
You know what? Nasty Nate with that split finger. That's been his calling card, even when he had high velocity. But the velocity has come down, but he's still an important piece and somebody that Skip Schumacher trusts to be able to navigate the lineup. Split finger, you see the curveball to be able to slow the hitter down as well as change the eye level. Want to see some of that four seam and see where that fastball velocity, but the sinker, especially when he's behind an account, Wayne, will be important to try to get the ground ball.
That was our StatCast powered by Google Cloud. The Car Shield scouting report. Eovaldi has allowed 24 home runs this year. That's his most in his career. And still with a couple months left in this season, Nathan Eovaldi has faced the Orioles quite a bit over the course of his career and has largely done well, pitched well against them in the postseason in 2023. So Nathan Eovaldi certainly battle tested over the years, and between him and deGrom anchoring this rotation, the Rangers feel like it's in good hands going into the final 2 months, really 7 weeks now of the season. The Orioles lineup tonight with Gunnar Henderson leading it off. Pete Alonso is batting second. Baltimore's batting order presented by BetMGM. Jackson Holliday hitting third, still looking for his first hit in the month of August. Gunnar Henderson is in the first spot in the Baltimore order, hitting just .218 this year, a .297 on base percentage. It sounds hard to believe that Gunnar Henderson could struggle to this point for this long in a season, considering the talent level here, as on the first pitch he fouls it off. So what do you make of Gunnar and his season so far?
You know what, I think huge part of this having an abbreviated spring training, being on Team USA, I think that was very important, but that's not always easy. And then you get off to a rough start. He's already had career worst in average, on base percentage, and slug, and so I think that's one of those situations when you find yourself in quicksand, the harder you fight, the worse it gets. And so sometimes you just got to go down in that cage and talk to the manager, have a couple beers, and just go out there and swing and be aggressive and let the game come to you. And right now he's in the 0-2 hole because Nate's already changed his eye level.
No balls, 2 strikes on Henderson. And a chopper to the right side. Nicky Lopez, a good fielder, grabs that for the first out of the game. We talk a lot about Henderson chasing results. Well, Nathan Eovaldi is hoping to make the batter's chase here tonight. Eovaldi, a former All-Star, of course, and a very good fielding pitcher in his own right, with Elias Diaz behind the plate. But Eovaldi has started to rely on that splitter more heavily as he's gotten older.
Yeah, I talked about the velocity being down, so you had to go to your secondary pitches, but already seeing a fastball at 95 miles an hour. 5 ERA over his first 6 starts. 3.8 over his last 15 coming to this ball game today.
Speed Alonso taking ball 1. Not the guy you want to see if you're giving up more home runs than usual. Alonso's hit 23 this year, and going back to his rookie year of 2019 when he set the rookie record as a member of the Mets, he is one of baseball's best sluggers. As he looks at a strike, and Eovaldi took a little bit of a walk after that. Not sure exactly what was bothering him after that pitch, but he seems good for the next one. Alonso's at 23 home runs. He's on pace for his 5th year with at least 30 homers and 100 RBIs. He taps this one foul.
Made me a little nervous because when you turn around your back to the catcher, it's like something's wrong physically.
You know, Eovaldi was battling a sickness over the last couple of weeks. He's better now, and the Rangers are expecting the real Nathan Eovaldi to show up here tonight. Those last few starts had been rough. Last time in Houston, gave up 6 runs on 10 hits in just 5 innings of work. Very un-Eovaldi-like against the Astros.
2-2.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Alonso. Eovaldi early in the season was giving up a lot of runs in the first inning. He's been able to shake that off over his last 10 starts.
So important to be able to settle in the ball game quickly.
Shane Baz had similar issues early in the year. He's been better as well in the first inning of late. We'll see him on the mound in the bottom of the first. The Orioles trying to get their offense going. They've only scored 9 runs in the first 5 games in August. Won a couple of low scoring games earlier this week against the Angels. 2-2. Alonso pops it up. It's in foul territory. It's Berger and the catcher Diaz, and Berger's the one who makes the catch.
Yeah, great communication. That was a major league pop-up, as we like to call him, but Berger had the better angle, especially coming down. Good job by being able to bail out and not making Berger feel like there's a player right on top of him.
Alonso fouls out. 2 up, 2 down here in the top of the first. Brings up Jackson Holliday. Holliday is hitless so far in the month of August. He's 0 for 14. He had 368 in the month of July. Had that hamate bone injury at the beginning of the season. Surgically repaired as he went into the season. Missed some time early. And they're hoping now that Jackson Holliday can start to perform at the major league level the way that everyone expects for this former #1 overall draft pick, still just 22 years old.
Yeah, and he's another ball player that didn't have a spring training at all, and so he had to work his way back and be able to hit the ground running in 288 over his last 37 ball games.
1 ball, 1 strike here on Holliday. And a ground ball right at the second baseman, Nicky Lopez. So quiet first inning for Nathan Eovaldi. 3 up, 3 down. MGM. Jock Peterson leads it off as the DH, with Wyatt Langford healthy in left field, Corey Seager healthy at shortstop. Those are 2 big names in there for the Rangers. Brandon Nimmo has turned it on lately, and Ezekiel Duran having a good season playing third base in place of the injured Josh Young. Injuries have been a big part of the Rangers season. You could say the same for the Orioles, but Shane Baz coming over in the offseason and trade from the Tampa Bay Rays, and he's thrown the ball pretty well over the last couple of months.
Yeah, don't let that win-loss record fool you. He's at a 2.9 ERA of his last 13 starts. He's vital in that rotation and somebody that's comfortable in pitching in big games.
Orioles are just 6-16 in Baz's 22 starts this year. As you said, that's not really indicative of how he has performed. They have not scored much in his outings, as a strike is into Jock Peterson. Jock wants to challenge the very first pitch, powered by T-Mobile, and it's a strike, and now the Rangers immediately have lost the challenge. We still see it around the league where players have not really mastered the art of win to challenge.
Yeah, that's a head scratcher in that situation, just because there's so much ball game left and you can still hit behind that count.
No balls, 2 strikes now, and you really hamper your catcher and you hamper the rest of the hitters later on. No one can feel like they can use up that last challenge now. And what we have certainly talked about is a big series and a big game for both of these teams. Peterson fouls one back and it's still 0-2, so that's a bullet lost for Texas.
Yeah, and that's a situation where you talk about everybody, you're really hampering that man as the manager, you know. And so with Jock being the veteran, you know, some teams allow their veterans a little more leash in situations, even early in the ball game.
20 home runs. He leads the team. He flails there at the breaking ball of Boz, and that's his best pitch, that knuckle curve.
And talked about that in the open. Jock fouled off a good fastball, but you knew what was coming after that. That nasty breaking ball, and you see the rotation. He throws it very hard, but there's depth change at the end of that, the last probably 8 feet. Really hard to stay off that pitch.
So 1 out brings up Wyatt Langford. Health is wealth for both of these ball clubs, certainly. The Rangers have had so many moments this year without Langford and Seager together. And when the 2 of them are in there, Texas feels pretty good about the length of their lineup and their ability to score runs. Langford has performed very well in just 63 games. You see the numbers this season. He'd be on an all-star level if he had been there from the get-go.
Yeah, and it seems like now, Wayne, every time we go into a manager meeting, we're talking about how their depth is tested, and so very important for stars to carry you home, and he's a superstar when he is healthy in that lineup.
It's 1 ball, 1 strike on Langford. A swing and miss on a pitch upstairs makes it 1-2. Well, Texas has 2 paths to the postseason. They can win the division still. They're right there behind the Astros, a game and a half out. They could be a wild card. They're the 3rd wild card holder in the American League right now. And they have a much greater advantage over Baltimore in terms of the strength of schedule the rest of the way. It's Langford with a fly ball to shallow right center, right on the edge of the outfield grass. Holiday has that. 2 up, 2 down here in the first.
Batting third, the shortstop, number 5, Corey Seager.
Morgan Wallen brings Corey Seager up to the plate. You can listen along on Apple Music.
Wallen wore a Willis jersey when he was in Miami last. That's a hell of a pull.
Well, what else would you wear? You got to pull out the D-Train jersey. Here's Seager on the first pitch, a fly ball to left center. Hangs up for Cowser as he moves back toward the deepest part of the ballpark to make that play. 9-pitch first inning for Shane Boz. 1-2-3. All on Apple TV, presented by Essilor. Learn more about Verilux XR series and find your local Essilor expert today at Essilor.com. Texas at Globe Life Field, and here's Tyler O'Neill leading off the top of the 2nd. He is the designated hitter today. O'Neill with 9 home runs, although 7 of them against left-handed pitching this season. Takes a strike from Nathan Eovaldi.
Since July 1st, hitting .306 with 7 home runs, so he's starting to feel good at the plate.
Pinch hit homer earlier this week. Baltimore's pinch hitters have been successful throughout the season. And O'Neill has picked it up offensively. As strong as he is, you feel like you can hit the ball at the ballpark at any moment. Foul tip here, 1-2.
Not taking any cheap hacks either, Wayne.
3 of his 9 home runs this season have come as a pinch hitter.
Always need that depth, especially on the bench, to be able to deploy in huge situations and playing a lot of close ball games.
Good. Breaking ball in the dirt, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes on O'Neill, who had a couple of really good seasons during his time in St. Louis. A handful of years ago, the Cardinals made a big September run. O'Neill put himself in MVP consideration with how he performed in that final month of the season. 2 balls and 2 strikes here on O'Neill.
3-2.
It's a full count after Eovaldi misses upstairs.
Yeah, line-to-line power too. Does not mind having that baseball travel deep, hit it with authority the other way.
Trying to do that here as he fouled it off. O'Neill with a couple of home runs this week against the Angels. A pinch hit shot on Tuesday night. And got out near the bird bath out there in left center field, and another one on Wednesday as well.
Yeah, lefty on lefty. He's made that calling card you cannot miss in that zone, especially to the pull side.
It's a fly ball to shallow right field. Brandon Nimmo comes in for it. And Nimmo has that for the first out here in the second.
Eovaldi starting to look comfortable, really cutting that loose to that fastball as well as the secondary pitches. He is somebody that's always been a max effort guy and really impressive career, Wayne. If you think about it, 2 Tommy Johns and being able to overcome that and having one of the best ERAs in the history of baseball, having that second Tommy John.
I also had one of the great postseasons of all time when he was leading the Rangers to their first ever World Championship 3 years ago. Here is Dylan Beavers as he looks at strike one. Eovaldi was 5-0 with a 2.95 ERA in that playoff. Won each of his first 4 postseason starts, beat the Astros twice in the ALCS, and was the winning pitcher in the World Series clincher against the Diamondbacks. 6 scoreless innings in that game. Just the second pitcher to ever go 5-0 in the playoffs. Steven Strasburg did it when the Nationals won it all in 2019. And in the clinching games, he is 4-0 with a 1.03 ERA.
You want to talk about controlling your heart rate.
Huh. Here's Beavers popping one up. This is Duran in foul territory, and that's 2 up, 2 down. I mean, you pitched in the postseason, the World Series. When you see a guy succeed like that in those big moments, what is it telling you about what he can do on the mound?
He believes. There needs to be a sense of arrogance mixed in with obviously talent and confidence, and sprinkled with a huge. They have a self-belief, you know, and being from Texas, a lot like Josh Beckett and Kerry Wood, they believe in themselves. They're used to playing in big moments even at a young age. You know, it doesn't matter if you're playing baseball. Obviously, football is king in Texas, but these environments and the talent they're going up against, you know, it definitely helps them in the minor leagues as well as in the big leagues and as well as in big moments. Facing the former Ranger Leody Taveras here. Taveras also part of that 2023 championship team. Played center field for a lot of that season for the Rangers. And hit a home run off Justin Verlander in the American League Championship Series that year. A backup outfielder. They played third base for a night earlier this year as well. In a game against the Angels, the Orioles had some injuries on their infield, including one in game. Craig Albernaz asked, "Can anyone here play infield, play third base?" And Taveras said, "Sure, I can. Why not?" So he went out there, played third, and only had 1 ball hit to him the whole night. So he handled himself just fine when he got to do that. 2 balls and a strike. And it's 3-1 now on Taveras. Every team needs that Swiss Army knife and somebody that can be versatile and really take the pressure and give your manager some flexibility. You never know in baseball, you might have these type of situations, and he definitely stepped up. There's a rocket toward right center field. This one is stepped up into the gap. Leody Taveras has an extra base hit. He'll have at least 2 as he pulls up at second base. A 2-out double, the first hit of the night. Taveras coming to this ball game over his last 15 innings, is 111, so got himself in a hitter-friendly count. Got that fastball up in the zone and got on top of it and knew it was going to be down and off to the races, but didn't try to get too big. You see a lot of hitters get themselves in 2-1, 3-1 counts and want to hit the ball out of the ballpark. He just wanted to square it up and get his offense going. So Taveras in scoring position with 2 outs. Kobe Mayo stands in.
Mayo has tremendous power, but he has not been able to put the entire package together, hitting just .205 with 15 home runs so far this year. First pitch in there, a strike from Eovaldi. Mayo, another first-round pick. The Orioles have plenty of those. Plenty of prospects, although Mayo was a fourth-round pick, but plenty of top prospects, of which Mayo certainly became one after he powered his way through the minor leagues, and he powers this one to center for a base hit. Taveras heads for the plate. He'll score the first run of the game as the throw comes in and gets cut off. RBI for Kobe Mayo, and the Orioles pick up a 2-out run.
I like both these swings from these young men. Not trying to do too much. This was a cutter that was down, actually a good pitch, but he's looking out over the plate. Recognize the ball mid-flight, and that's a tough pitch, Wayne, to cover. If you try to get big, you'll roll him to the left side, but kept his sights right back up the box and got himself an RBI, and the Birds are on the board.
So the Rangers, a team that has notoriously struggled when falling behind this year, end up in a 1-0 run. Here's a check swing in front of home plate as Diaz grabs that and fires it down to retire Colton Cowser. The Orioles take a 1-0 lead on Kobe Mayo's base hit. We'll talk to the first baseman, the polar bear, Pete Alonso, live from on the field during the bottom of the second. One of the great home run hitters of his era, and the greatest home run hitter in the history of the New York Mets. Pete Alonso signed a 5-year deal in the offseason with the Baltimore Orioles, making him an anchor in this Baltimore lineup, and he is kind enough to join us for the bottom of the second. Pete, how's the transition been from the big bright lights of New York to where you are now in Baltimore?
Oh, it's been awesome. I mean, everyone from teammates, front office, staff, it's been really awesome. There's really good people here, and I mean, they've just made the transition for my family and I just super easy. Very thankful and blessed to be a Baltimore Oriole.
Pete, there is something I saw in your swing, especially this year. You're hitting the baseball with authority to the opposite field. Was that something that you really came in the season to really work on?
I mean, to be honest, I think it's just a product of like just taking good swings on pitches that are kind of like on the middle way part of the zone, and I feel like I've been doing a good job of taking advantage of Camden yards. I mean, it's a great park to hit in, especially the right center and big part of the yard.
Got a lefty up here at the plate now. You know anything about this guy?
Yes, good buddy of mine. I mean, yes, we're competitors and enemies, so to speak, right now. But no, but Nimmy's A1. Great teammate, phenomenal player. I mean, can't say enough great things about Mr. Nimmo.
Yeah, you have Jacob deGrom in that Ranger dugout too. You hit your first home run as an Oriole off of Jake. Do you have to steer clear of him now?
No, Jake's again, that's another good buddy over there. My first live AB in big league camp in 2019 when I was trying to make the team was off Jake, and I feel like I used a lot of my spring training live at bat experience for that game when I saw him. It definitely came in handy.
Now, Pete, my daughter was getting recruited by Florida, and she says, "Dad, you don't know anything about that. That's a smart person's school." Like, is that true? Is that true or not?
Yes, no, absolutely. I mean, they have really high standards for not just for athletics, but academics as well. I mean, it's a very well-rounded university. Like, especially now, like, I mean, you got people with like extremely good grades and great extracurriculars and community service not being able to get in. So yeah, it's a phenomenal school.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Brandon Nimmo leading off here in the bottom of the second.
Keep your words sweet. I'm mic'd up.
See, I appreciate that. It's love. You got to do that.
Yeah, I don't want to put him in a bad spot. Yeah. What's up, buddy? Living the dream.
Living the dream.
Yeah, I don't want to put Mr. Nimmo in a compromised position, so I had to give him a heads up.
Pete, with the trade deadline this week and Adley Rutschman being traded to Boston, what was the message that you felt like your teammates needed to hear after that?
Hold on. Yeah, so honestly, just keep playing ball, play high quality baseball, play clean baseball. And well, I'm just really thankful that we still have a very talented group capable of winning games. I think, I mean, we got a great starting pitching, position player core that's really talented, can win. A boy! And I mean, it's regardless. I mean, I know Adley means a lot. He's performed well as an Oriole. He means a lot to the org and the city, but just unfortunate part of the business. Show must go on, and we still have pieces to go after it.
Pete, it seems like you in this locker room is gelled quickly. What's it going to take for you guys to get into the postseason?
I mean, winning games, simple as that. Can't get in our own way. Just play clean baseball and just be relentless every day. A boy!
Ezekiel Duran strikes out, one away here in the second as Evan Carter will stand in next. Pete, when you have a runner on first, you guys had a couple of pickoffs earlier this week. What is behind you standing in front of the bag the way you do and where you position yourself to try to get that tag down quickly?
It all starts with a good move from the pitcher. I think you guys are referencing when Cade was pitching. Bye!
Love that communication and that sequencing. That's a team that works on defense. They have to take every single out. They can't give anything away in that situation. And good job by Shane Boss not getting in the way and getting out of the way so you can take that out and you're one step closer from getting out of the inning.
Shane, way over! Way over!
I gotta say, the polar bear looking like the big cat out there, looking athletic still, huh?
Yeah, I do yoga every off season, and I don't do it for me. I do it for my teammates. A boy!
Strike to Jake Berger. Ever since you came up in New York, you worked really hard on your defense. But this year, the numbers are showing that you've become one of the better defenders in the American League and in baseball at first base. Why have those metrics changed in your favor, do you think?
There's a lot of reasons. That a boy? I'd say game experience, because you can't really replicate the speed and the attention to detail you need to execute in the big league level. So I think having that. Also, I think I'm just really thankful for our infield coaches, Miggy Cairo and Bucky Britton, for having some imagination and believing that I could play this caliber of defense. Out of bed. All right, guys. Peace and blessings. Thanks for having me on. Go God, go O's.
Welcome back to Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV, presented by Verilux Lenses. Tonight's odds are courtesy of BetMGM. We're looking at the AL West. It is a 3-team race. The Astros have charged up the standings over the last month, including sweeping Texas last weekend. But President of Baseball Operations Chris Young said this Rangers team hasn't gone on their run yet this season. He thinks they're poised to. He told me getting healthy is key. They just got Jordan Montgomery back. They put him in the bullpen. Jack Leiter's going to go out on a rehab assignment next week. Josh Young should be back at some point. He's still a couple of weeks off, though, guys.
Well, the Rangers are trying to get as healthy as they can. Certainly it helps to have Langford and Seager back. They'd like to complete the picture by getting Young in there too. Swing and a miss by Carlos Narvaez, who was part of that Adley Rutschman trade earlier in the week. Yeah, maybe a bit of a surprise. Certainly it was a headliner of a trade with Rutschman going to the Red Sox. Carlos Narvaez, along with some prospects coming back to Baltimore. Anthony Ianson, Kyson Witherspoon, the two big prospects in that deal. Narvaez, it's a fly ball to right.
Well, you get somebody in Narvaez that you can trust behind the plate. And again, there's nothing going to make up for Adley Rutschman because he is the centerpiece of that core group when you're talking about the Hendersons and the Cowters of that group that had so much high expectation. But I think what you're getting back, especially two top 10 prospects that are going to be impactful in your lineup, and you're still keeping enough of the core if you're the Orioles. In the situation, the way the American League is played out, you can still get into the postseason.
Not too many people can speak to being part of a headlining blockbuster trade, but you can. You were traded with Miguel Cabrera from the Marlins to the Tigers. It sent ripples through the sport, just like Adley Rutschman being dealt by the Baltimore Orioles did. What does that do for the players involved, and what does that do for the team left behind?
Well, you know, coming from Miami, that's kind of been the business model, so there's a little more expectation of that happening, and even before us and obviously after us. With the Giancarlo Stantons and the Yeliches of the world and guys like that have been impactful. But it's a brave new world, and you know, Miguel Cabrera obviously handled it better than I did, being able to, you know, go to a new situation and try to hit the ground running with expectation of going out there and trying to win ball games. And so that's why I asked Pete Alonso, even though it wasn't a trade, it's a new ball club, and how do you deal with that and still be impactful early on? Because the transition is not always like that. You're seeing it right now. Casey Mize was a big-time part of Detroit going to San Diego. He gets touched up his first time. How does he react to that? And then you're also seeing Luis Arraez.
Liner to right field as Henderson hits it right at Nimmo. 2 up, 2 down here in the third. I remember that trade in December of 2007 when you and Miggy were dealt to the Tigers. It was a shockwave of a trade, and well, it might feel similar to the Orioles players, especially the likes of Henderson and Cowser and these guys that grew up in the system with Rutschman. Rutschman was the star of that group. He was the #1 pick, and he was really the beginning of a great turnaround for an Orioles team that had suffered for some years and suddenly was thrust back into the spotlight. They won 100 games, and it looked like they were about to take off for good.
You want to talk about the team that's left behind.
There's a fly ball to left center. Pete Alonso sends it pretty deep. Carter is back, so is Langford, and it's Carter on the warning track to pull it down. Long fly out for Alonso to end the third. The Leagues Cup is underway. 14 matches coming up this weekend, highlighted by Lionel Messi and Inter Miami playing host to Monterrey, and Sun Heung-min and LAFC taking on Toluca tomorrow night. Enjoy full coverage of the Leagues Cup on Apple TV. Rangers and the Orioles. Baltimore's had their way with Texas over the years in this matchup. The Orioles are all-time 53 games above 500 against the Texas Rangers. Elias Diaz leads off here in the bottom of the third. Rangers in their City Connect outfits tonight. All these matchups between the Orioles and the Rangers, first time with Texas in these uniforms. As Diaz takes ball one from Shane Baz. Rangers catching situation is a bit up in the air right now. It's Diaz and Austin wins. Both Kyle Higashioka and Danny Jansen are out, and they traded for Logan O'Hoppe from the Angels last week. O'Hoppe sent to AAA. Chase Silseth, the reliever, part of that trade in the Texas bullpen.
Yeah, so you have a little musical chairs situation behind home plate. So now those catchers have to really, especially Diaz and company, hit the ground running and learn your stuff quickly, all while you're in a race for a pennant. And so you got to trust that these guys come in and work hard, believe in the system, believe in that locker room to continue to be successful down the stretch.
1 ball 2 strikes on Diaz, former All-Star Game MVP. As he bounces one foul. It's a weird thing about baseball because 4 months and change into the season, the Rangers have played a lot of games. They played 115, and they're under 500. But they are very much alive to win their division, to win a wild card spot, and ultimately to get into that tournament where you can win the pennant.
It's all that matters.
That's what Skip Schumacher said before the game today. Asked him, does it feel like you're in a race? You know, when you're playing well and you're doing what the Red Sox are doing and every game means a lot, they're fighting for a division title. Does it feel like that when you're winning a few, losing a few, and just kind of fluttering around 500? And he said, absolutely. You still feel it because you're still in it and you could still win it. And that's the position you want to be in at this time of the year.
And if you look at it from the front office standpoint, do I make the right move? Didn't you have one of your best players and really a captain in the locker room, and Jay Rom say, no, I'm not. I'm going to hold true to that no trade clause because I believe in these guys, and that sends more of a message than anything that Skip Schumacher could say. It says, I want to stand put with this group that I believe in and be impactful. So if they do taste champagne at the end of all of this and they get ready for that tournament, ooh, what a move.
So 5 teams within a game of each other for that wild card, and then Seattle only a game and a half out. That strike 3 called to Diaz. 4th strikeout already for Shane Baz. Statcast powered by Google Cloud. Baz works through that knuckle curve.
Yeah, we're going to look at the 4-seam fastball anywhere from 94 to 96. You've seen that knuckle curve coming into the ball game today. 58 Ks on that pitch, 3rd most in all of baseball. But I think he's going to work, especially to the left-handed bats of the Texas Rangers, that sinker down and away to try to get them to hit the ball on the ground.
Nicky Lopez at the plate playing second base. See Justin Foscue there sometimes, and Ezekiel Duran will probably end up there if Young gets straightened out, but he'll still be a while before he returns from his calf injury. So Lopez, who's always been a good defender, gets some time at second base for now for the Rangers.
Yeah, this is the part of the season, though, regardless. Every team is dealing with some injuries, and your organization depth is going to be tested. Guys have to play well, especially teams that are in the race.
Always a middle infielder throughout his career, a lot of times with the Kansas City Royals, but he can play a little bit on the corners in the outfield as well. One ball, 1 strike. John Lipka, the home plate umpire, giving Narvaez some time after that. Narvaez's old team, the Red Sox, winning 10-1 tonight.
Ooh, he got away quick, huh?
There's a check swing ground ball to Holiday at second base. 2 up, 2 down. Jock Peterson will be the batter. Peterson, with his 20 home runs this year, leads the Rangers. He's had a lot of those over the last month and a half, as he has performed nicely for Texas, along with several others that have helped this offense come around over the last couple of months. They've hit better at home over the last couple of months as well, though the Rangers are not admitting that anything has been behind that. Last 31 home games, they've hit 49 home runs compared to just 16 in their first 25 home games. They've averaged 5 runs per game compared to just 3 runs per game early on.
Well, I asked Schumacher about that, and he gave me a big old smile. He says, "No, D-Train, we haven't figured out the formula." He didn't want to tell me the secret to that recipe. Maybe getting the AC to 68. Baseballs, the bats, who knows? But he says it might change back to where it's a graveyard for the offense the next month. But I just think guys are healthier. You're getting more quality of bats. You know what I mean? As a core, I feel like a lot of times we come here and, you know, this guy's not available. Guy's not available. He's still a couple weeks out. You know, those core guys have gotten a lot of reps. Even Jake Berger, who I always liked, especially in the Marlins uniform, and when he's healthy, man, there's a deeper lineup with a lot of more thump.
Well, he's hitting 7th, and he's hit 19 home runs this year himself. Leads the team in RBIs, so that's what you're talking about with the length of the lineup. It pushes Berger down, and these other guys the Rangers were hoping to rely on have been more reliable lately. Peterson struck out his first time up. That's about as close to a foul ball in this booth as we'll ever get.
Oh man, listen, can't tell a pop fly from a ground ball all the way up here.
We're very close to the surface of the moon up here on the night game.
Don't worry, Wayne, I'll keep you safe.
Oh, good.
Last time you flinched a little, maybe a little nerve.
It's a fly ball toward the left field corner out of play.
That's the one thing about Jock, though. If you look at his swing, his ability to keep that bat in the zone for a long period of time is part of his weapon. Quick enough hands to be able to get to that fastball, but he can elongate that swing.
See us way up there on that last shot? We're up there somewhere. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Peterson.
Ball.
Count is 2-2.
It's a great ballpark, though. Great ballpark, great atmosphere, great food. Always love coming to Texas.
Gonna get us some barbecue up here? We're back here in a couple weeks.
I know some people. I know some people.
Peterson pops this up shallow left. Beavers comes in for it, calls everybody off, and makes the catch. 1, 2, 3 in the third.
It's time for our Sage Manager interview here with Skip Schumacher. Nate Eovaldi kind of turned in the first a little. Did you notice anything? Is he okay?
Yeah, he's fine. It's just kind of what he does sometimes on the mound.
What are you seeing from him tonight?
Well, he's got everything working. Just obviously the double to Tavares is really the only damage he's given up. But it's typical Nate. Good fastball with a really good split, and he's using all his pitches for strikes.
It's been an emotional week really for both of these teams. But how do you get this group to just focus forward and go from here?
These guys know what winning looks like. A bunch of winners that have done it before. I'm grateful that I have a veteran clubhouse, and they've done a great job moving forward. And after post deadline, we're ready to go.
All right, thanks, Skip.
Thank you.
It wasn't a very busy deadline for the Texas Rangers, unlike the Orioles. A lot going on. Jackson Holliday, 1 ball, 1 strike. Josh Smith got traded out to the Blue Jays. We mentioned the Ohapi and Silseth deal with the Angels. That's about it. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Rangers believe, we heard Skip say it, we heard Chris Young say it, that, well, you could treat it like a trade deadline. That's, you know, fans kind of buckle at this sometimes, but getting Corey Seager back healthy, getting Young back, Langford, those are kind of trade deadline acquisitions based on how the team looked for a lot of the first half.
1,000%.
It's Holliday reaching out, grounding one softly to Lopez at second base, 1 out.
You have to have that mindset because the focus is, hey, we still have not had our full strength. They still have not seen the best Texas Rangers ball club. And so I'm with Chris Young right there. And with DeGrom being able to stay packed and say, hey, I believe we can still play our best baseball down the next 2 months to get into the postseason, I respect it across the board.
You said you wore him out at Double-A back in the early aughts.
Lefty on lefty, that's a tough matchup because I was good about throwing one to the backstop and then throwing one on the black. That you don't want to face Rondell back then. You didn't want that. Yeah, bullfrog, roof frog, and rosin, that contraption. Yeah, that spin rate went up. spin rate went right up. Listening like Patrick Ewing in the 8th inning. It's 9 o'clock at night. So, yeah, so.
It was warm in the southern.
Yeah, I'm only snitching on myself.
That's all right.
That's okay.
The statute of limitations wore off.
That's why I'm on that wall in Kane County.
That's right. Bud Selig can't get you now.
It's too late. That money spent.
No balls, 2 strikes on Tyler O'Neill.
One, two.
Always appreciate the home plate umpire John Lipka shouting out the count. Takes one thing off my to-do list.
Keeping us on our toes. It's a big ball game. This is a big series.
Yeah, it is, especially with the tiebreaker scenario now with these playoff seedings. The Rangers won 2 out of 3 in Baltimore at Camden Yards in the first week of the season, so this is their second meeting, which means if the Rangers win this series as well, they would have that outright tiebreaker over Baltimore.
Skip Schumacher talked about that in their manager meeting, how he wanted to give his veteran Valdi an extra day, coming a little bit of illness, and wants him to be able to be full strength.
Dirt to O'Neill, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Orioles with a 1-0 lead, scored a 2-out run in the second. Taveras doubled to the gap in right center field. He scored on a base hit to center by Kobe Mayo. O'Neill off the end of his bat, flips one toward the right field line. Berger's out, Nimmo is in. It's Berger by himself making a catch. He was in foul ground, but he covered a lot of ground to get there.
Both these first basemen already showing the athleticism. He was about 30 yards down the line running the go route. Didn't panic though. He said, "Attaboy, I need that."
2 outs as Dylan Beavers bats, fouled out his first time. Beavers going to get more playing time in left field now after the trade of Taylor Ward to the Seattle Mariners. Kind of a weird year for Ward, in which he just stopped hitting for power. He had 36 home runs last year and hit 7 during his time with the Orioles.
Yeah, I thought Ward, especially the way that ballpark is structured, and you know him very well about this, him getting on top of that baseball and hitting it to right center. I thought that was the perfect ballpark for him, and it just didn't pan out.
Drew a lot of walks. In fact, the Orioles have walked in every game they've played this season but one. Taylor Ward was responsible for a lot of those bases on balls. They have not walked yet tonight. And Dylan Beavers strikes out on 3 pitches. So Eovaldi having a good performance. That's his first strikeout though so far as he gets through the 4th.
It's time for another stage manager interview here with Craig Alvarez. Shane Baz put a lot of pressure on himself early in the season, he said, but he's been great over the last couple of months, giving up just 1 hit here today. What are you seeing from him?
Yeah, he's being real efficient right now. He's pounding the strike zone. He's doing a great job of getting his changeup in the mix. And we all know his curveball is one of the best pitches, and he's using his fastball extremely well. I just love that he's just pounding the strike zone right now.
There's been so much talk, rightfully so. Adley Rutschman is gone, but you guys got Carlos Narvaez. What does he bring to this squad?
He brings a steady presence behind the plate. He's as prepared as I've ever seen a catcher. He can understand what the hitters are trying to do, the approaches, read swings, and right now he's doing a great job of navigating Shane right now.
All right, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Craig Alvarez coming over from the Guardians, where he was with Stephen Vogt. Carlos Narvaez in that trade with Boston. Guardians bench coach. He was the Giants bullpen coach at one time and coached and managed in the Rays minor league system, so he's been around. Tell he's from New England, though, at least.
Absolutely. He has a presence about himself. You'll hear a New England word one out of every 6. But he has a great deal of passion and belief in this locker room. I said, what's it going to take to get in the postseason? And like Pete Alonso said, play clean, not give away outs. We're going to play in a lot of close, low-scoring ball games. Got to be able to lean on that rotation to really be able to shorten the ball game.
2-2.
It's also possible that before too long, the Orioles bullpen gets a lot stronger. Felix Bautista's working his way back from shoulder surgery. Ryan Helsley's working his way back. Those are 2 gigantic arms.
Huge.
Literally, in Bautista's case, he is a mountain of a man.
Man, you just talk about the shockwave in that locker room, seeing him back in there, as well as that fan base. And now you have Helsley and company. Ooh.
Yes.
It's a check swing and strike 3 as Langford is struck out.
Yeah. That looked like a sinker that just took off and tied him up. Like halfway through that swing, you're in no man's land and you guessed wrong, and now you're just trying to defend yourself. Excellent pitch by Boz.
1 out here in the 4th, and it's Corey Seager who flied to center his first time. Often swings at the first pitch. And does so right there.
See, when he's right, that ball's barreled. That's more of an east to west cutter that didn't get all the way in. When he's locked in, he'll get on top of that baseball and have the ability to keep it fair.
In front of that, no balls and 2 strikes. Changeup from Shane Baz, who has only allowed 1 base runner so far. It was Nimmo who had that base hit leading off the 2nd inning. Baz has 5 strikeouts on the night.
Oh, 1-2.
Goes with the cutter, the first pitch, and then a changeup. So really feeling mechanically sound. And I said it in the open, it doesn't matter if he's right or not. They're going to pitch to him like he's one of the best in all baseball.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Seager. 10 homers on the year. 10th time in his career he's hit double-digit home runs. Of course, in his best seasons he's been an MVP candidate, a runner-up for the MVP award a few years ago. That big 10-year contract the Rangers gave him to build around Seager. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Shane Baz, another strikeout. He has 6.
Yeah, he's not picking up on that cutter and the spin, and so that was one that was up and in and tied Seager up. Excellent pitch. You can see by the grip. You're just throwing it right middle and trusting that the grip is correct and the arm speed as well.
2 up, 2 down here in the 4th, and Brandon Nimmo is the batter. Nimmo with the only hit so far for Texas, thanks to his leadoff single in the 2nd. It's a ground ball to his old friend Pete Alonso. The overhand flip to Baz, and another quick inning. 1, 2, 3 in the 4th. To gear at MLBshop.com. Official jerseys and memorabilia, hats and hoodies. We've got the season coverage and the QR code. Or visit MLBshop.com, the official source for your favorite team gear. There's Vlad.
That's a bad man right there.
Hall of Famer Vladimir Guerrero. Still productive even at the end of his career when he was with those 2 teams.
Yeah. I made a mistake hitting the ball of Javier Vasquez, and I ran through that stop sign at first base, and Perry Hill said, "No, it's Vlad." He threw me out by 30 feet. Didn't have iPads back then.
We had baseball tonight.
I thought it was an automatic double. You get the ball off the wall. You know, Rondell got his foot down.
Leody Taveras leading off here in the 5th inning, as he is the only run scored so far in this game.
2-1.
The pitcher's duel between Nathan Eovaldi and Shane Baz. Combined just 3 hits allowed. Baz has 6 strikeouts. Eovaldi just 1, but A lot of early contact outs against Eovaldi has kept his pitch count down. Eovaldi typically will last 6 or 7 innings or more in a game, which is why he's already had 19 decisions this season. The fly ball to center from Taveras as Carter backtracks for that. And Taveras is retired in a spot where he played quite a bit center field here at Globe Life.
Looking at this pitching matchup between Eovaldi and Boz, you knew that both these guys were going to be able to throw strikes and command and really lean on their secondary pitches. And so far, you're seeing both guys be able to navigate that and pitch at an efficiency and at a pace to keep the hitters on the heels thus far.
One out as Kobe Mayo bats, an RBI base hit in the second, driving into Taveras with a 2-out single to center field. Shane Boz and Nathan Eovaldi, both Houston born, facing one another for the first time in their careers. Balls 2 strikes, the count on Mayo. Did you feel like you were facing the other pitcher?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm watching him. I'm seeing when he gets 2 outs. I'm mentally getting back focused, and you're trying to go toe to toe. And yes, you're going against the opposing offenses, but me being a majority nationally guy, it's, hey, whatever I can do to turn over my lineup so he can see my big dogs more than I have to see his.
It's a liner to left from Mayo. He's hit the ball hard twice, but this one is an out right at Langford. 2 up, 2 down. Was there any particular pitcher you geared up for more than another?
Oh, man. Well, I didn't gear up too much because I had to get in that box. but I faced some of the best. Randy Johnson. This is Arizona Randy Johnson. You know, the numbers he put up in that uniform. You know, Roy Oswalt. You know, not fun seeing a 97-mile-an-hour fastball than a 76-mile-an-hour breaking ball when you're trying to bunt that. Mark Pryor, Kerry Wood. You name it. I faced John Smoltz, the nicest, quietest 0 for 3 you ever have in the bat. You know, the list goes on and on.
Strike 1 to Colton Cowser, who bounced out in front of home plate his first time. And it gets repetitive, the story of the Orioles, because you have all these guys who are prospects or first-round picks and what have you that have not performed at the expected level or even the level that they set for themselves with past performance. Cowser was the Rookie of the Year runner-up 2 years ago. It took him a while to come back from his thumb injury. But what we've seen from Cowser this year, he has not been able to put together much offense.
Well, both these teams are the same in the sense of they've had a lot of key guys, whether they're veteran or young, trying to establish themselves in the big leagues. There have been a ton of injuries, and so, you know, it's almost one of those situations where it's 1 step forward, 2 steps back, and you're already trying to develop guys, and we talked about that earlier, even before the game started. Nice piece of hitting right there, though.
High drive base hit with 2 outs for Cowser.
Guys coming up in our era, you had to really master A ball, double A, triple A. Now, if you have some tools like a Cowser, you have to learn how to be impactful in the big leagues against the best. Very difficult to do, and then stay healthy for 162 ball games. Not always easy. So you get like a big man like Basayo in that lineup, man. Let me tell you.
Well, he's extremely young too. I mean, these Orioles, when you have the #1 farm system 4 years in a row, you graduate a lot of these guys young. Basayo's 21, Holiday's 22, even Henderson is still 25. You have Cowser, who just had the base hit, who had that Rookie of the Year runner-up here. He's a little older, coming out of college. He's 26. Beavers is 24. Mayo is 24. And when you ask around, you get reminded of that a lot, because the expectation has been put through the roof, and they all had great seasons at one point or another. So now you expect that year in and year out, when the reality is these are still young players, all in their either low to mid 20s, that are still learning how to play year in and year out and day in and day out.
I think in sports we've lost how young 21 is.
Well, fly ball to left, and falls in for a base hit for Narvaez. Couple of hits with 2 outs. All 4 hits for the Orioles so far tonight have come with 2 outs. Homegrown talent Now, Grayson Rodriguez got shipped to the Angels. Otherwise, these guys are all around the Orioles organization still. Westberg has been hurt a lot the last couple of years and won't play at all this year. Of course, Rutschman was the headliner of that entire group, traded to the Red Sox this week. So the homegrown talent is certainly there. You know, the Orioles took some criticism for not making trades to bolster the roster. Since then, they have. They got criticized for not spending money around the roster. Since then, they have. And it still has not turned into the kind of success people thought it would.
And the Orioles spent $213 million in free agency. That's a lot of blue crab. So yeah, you can't sell that story anymore. And 0 postseason wins since the start of 2019. So there is a level of expectation with that fan base. When you talk about, if you're covering baseball, you're just watching baseball, the American League seems to be down right now. So even the casual fan says, hey, you guys got to get to the postseason, because then that's when it's fun and anything happens. But if you're having trouble doing that, it's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough for the Orioles to get there. Here's Henderson with 2 out and 2 on. The way the Red Sox are playing, the Yankees are still expecting to get their big boys back. The Rays have played well this year. It's a tough division, and it's the Rangers don't have to go through that. The other teams in the wild card mix, the Mariners, the Central teams, well, they all get to play each other. Whereas the Orioles have a lot of games still with New York, with Boston, and with Tampa Bay, and they'll have to play really well in those games to give themselves a chance. As the Red Sox, with a win tonight, they're up by 12, will win for the 27th time in their last 30 games, which is a historic stretch of play that the Red Sox are going through. But the Orioles have a disadvantage playing those teams in their division, whereas these other teams in the West and Central get to just float through those two divisions.
But you're also going to find out what your locker room is made of. And you're looking at the Red Sox right now. I mean, they swept the Dodgers in Dodger Stadium. You know what I mean? So they're surging. We were in Boston earlier, and it was a graveyard as far as early in the season about the tone of that ball club. And obviously, they got rid of their manager. Craig Breslow took a lot of heat all the way up into this last month. And so, a lot can change.
It's changed incredibly there, as has this inning. Evaldi had retired the first 2 batters before giving up a single to Cowser. Then Narvaez with a base hit, and now a walk to Henderson. The first walk of the night from either side loads the bases, and it brings up Alonso. So a big spot in this game for Evaldi. Facing the Orioles' big thumper here. Alonso flied out to deep left center his first time, or rather his last time. So it takes ball 1 from Evaldi.
Looks like a little bit of fatigue has settled in, and that's why the lack of command, not only with the fastball but the off speed, and now he's putting himself in hitter friendly counts.
That's in there, a strike. Mentioned that Evaldi was battling sickness during his last start against the Astros. The Rangers gave him a little extra rest, pitching on 6 days rest today. Cody Bradford's return to the rotation helped them do that. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes as that splitter darts away from Alonso.
I love what he did the pitch before, though. It was an abbreviated slide step to rush that fastball, and he stole a strike. Goes back to the conventional leg kick, and now he has Pete Alonso off balance just a hair.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Evaldi trying to keep this a 1-0 game. Alonso fights one off. The Mets all-time leader in home runs, surpassed Darryl Strawberry last year. One of the biggest home runs in Mets history when he sent one out against Devin Williams in the wild card round a couple of years ago. The Mets made a run all the way to the NLCS. Alonso beloved by the fan base there in New York. And now his first year in Baltimore.
Ball in.
As he takes ball 2, that just missed.
Again, there goes that slide step. Now he used the breaking ball to keep him off balance. It backed up. They were hoping it can catch the inner half, and looks like Pete Alonso's looking out, and a nice little young fan with a little show chain.
That's in there, strike 3. So Eovaldi comes back to get the strikeout of Alonso, and he strands the bases loaded in the 5th. This young Ranger fan ready to punch him out. It stays 1-0 Orioles. Decisions presented by Sage. Shane Baz with 6 punch-outs tonight in 4 innings.
Yeah, we knew he was going to come with that breaking ball, but also working the cutter as well and changing eye level the second time through the zone.
Season high in strikeouts is 9. He's done that a few times. His career high is 11. Ezekiel Duran leads off here in the bottom of the 5th. He looks at his strike. Duran is the team MVP according to the manager Skip Schumacher. He also gave himself the nickname the Solution.
Not the situation, the solution. And again, I said that earlier in the ball game, but he is one of the best Swiss Army knives in all of baseball. Can even play behind the plate.
Yeah, he hasn't played a game yet behind the plate, but he is the team's emergency catcher. And Skip Schumacher said they have put him with the traject machine, and the way that he frames pitches and handles the ball when it's coming to him from the catching position, he says he's totally comfortable using him in a big league game if that does come up.
Yes.
He cannot hold his swing here. And Duran's down quickly on strikes. That's the 7th strikeout now for Shane Baz.
Baz able to spin the baseball, not only with the conventional breaking ball, but that's more of a sharpened cutting action down. So he's shown that he can throw the cutter in the strike zone, at the top of the zone, and now at the bottom.
1 out here in the 5th inning as Baz continues to roll. He's only allowed 1 base runner. Here's Evan Carter who had a sacrifice bunt his first time. Carter looks at his strike. The way Carter's career has gone, you'd think he was an Oriole. 23 years old, big time prospect. He had a breakout type of season, although his was mostly in the last month in the postseason in 2023, and then the numbers have slid ever since. Back problems for Carter in 24 and 25. His back is good now, but he is still trying to find his way as a major league regular. Balls and 2 strikes on Carter. And a swing and a miss, strike 3. So Shane Baz back-to-back strikeouts to start the 5th. Let's go back to our studio, and here is Sierra Santos.
Hey guys, to Milwaukee, where the number 29 overall prospect, according to MLB.com. Kalen Culpepper was making his debut for the Twins. His first career hit is a solo home run. Twins currently up 8-6 over the Brewers. Wayne, D-Train, let's kick it back to you.
Byron Buxton should be back soon for the Twins. Maybe they have a run in them as well. They're right there in the Central and the wild card. Here's Jake Berger. He struck out his first time.
All these different races. It's going to be Happy TV Fridays, Saturdays, Sunday. We got multiple jobs. We busy men.
Yeah, we are
busy men.
The ball's in a strike on Berger. It's been a busy inning here for Baz. He struck out the first 2 hitters on 3 pitches each. And he's at 0-1 here on Berger. A shot for an immaculate inning here. So 3 strikes, 3 to Duran for the first strikeout. 3 strikes, 3 pitches to Carter for the second strikeout. Now he's 0-2 on Berger.
If you're the Rangers, you got to do anything you can to disrupt that timing, because he seems to be in sync and doing X out following the glove.
Berger laid off, and I think Baz knew that he had a shot at the immaculate inning after that reaction.
He overthrew it. Sometimes, Wayne, we overcook the steaks. You know, he knew exactly what he wanted to throw. That cut her down in the zone to try to get Berger to chase.
There have only been 4 immaculate innings in Orioles history. Boz had a shot for the 5th right there. Jimmy Key, B.J. Ryan, Kevin Gausman, and last year Brandon Young threw an immaculate inning. Those are the only 4 in the history of the Orioles. Boz was 1 pitch away, but overthrew it. As Berger lifts a fly ball, Boz will have to settle for just an ordinary 1-2-3 inning.
You're mic'd up. Yeah. They want to show the people what a good time is. That way, kid. You didn't look down. Huh? You didn't look down. That way, Berger. Damn, bro, go get it.
I gotta ask them, what razors are they using? That's some serious clean bald head. A little love on that one.
Berger to Eovaldi, 1 out here in the 6th. Let's go down to Heidi.
All right, guys. Orioles legend Jim Palmer likes to say prospects are suspects until they prove themselves in the big leagues. Both of these teams have had a number of high-profile prospects. They're still kind of waiting to blossom into superstars. Entering 2024, Jackson Holliday, top prospect in baseball. Evan Carter and Wyatt Langford were both in the top 6. The others on that list, Jackson Chourio, Paul Skeens, Junior Caminero, they've all lived up to the hype. But the Orioles and Rangers taking that next step as an organization has been a bit slowed by the lack of expected development, guys.
Thank you very much, Heidi. Here is Tyler O'Neill with 1 out in the 6th inning. As it's 1 ball and no strikes on O'Neill, who has fouled out and flied out today. Well, Jim Palmer's right. I agree with him 100%. That's why it's irritating sometimes at the trade deadline. When teams that are in the mix for a championship don't go for it, because what do you know about if these prospects are going to make it or not? Sometimes even guys look like they're about to make it and then don't. See the prospect list from a couple of years ago. Holliday was ahead of Jackson Chourio and Paul Skeens and Caminero, who've all had big seasons since that prospect ranking list came out. You know, I thought the Milwaukee Brewers, who've been building their farm system, building this operation that they have, that they year in and year out are ahead of expectations. They're in the mix for the division title. They often win their division, but they don't have a lot to show for it in October. They haven't been to the World Series since 1982. Why not just trade a couple of prospects and go for it?
People want to keep their job. And that's just the honest truth about it, because if you're not successful and now you don't have reinforcements coming up and guys that can be impactful in the big leagues that also have controllable contracts, you know, so it's a business as well as a business to win. So it's tough. You know, this is where all the front offices make their money, and with that extra wild card, it keeps a lot of teams in a lot of situations for a long time. And
the Orioles, there are big prospects that have been called up. Well, they were highly ranked. Masayo's got the long contract extension. Rutschman's in Boston. We'll see what comes of Henderson and Holliday's time with the Orioles. Nathan Eovaldi allows a 1-out walk here in the 6th, and he heads out. Tyler Alexander will be the new pitcher for Texas. Baseball on Apple TV, presented by Verilux Lenses, with Dontrell Willis and Heidi. I'm Wayne Randazzo. We're in Arlington, Texas, just outside of Dallas, where the Rangers and Orioles have been in a 1-0 game since the 2nd. Both starting pitchers throwing the ball well tonight. Nathan Eovaldi out of the game now. 5 1/3 innings as Tyler Alexander takes over. Rangers bullpen has largely done a nice job this year, but there have been some struggles down in that pen lately. We did get an added reinforcement today as Jordan Montgomery is back in the big leagues, finally recovered from Tommy John surgery. Montgomery could make his first major league appearance since 2024 at some point here this weekend.
Yeah, that'll be huge. I mean, depending on the role, he could be the long man. He's built up already to 90 pitches, so if you wanted to spot start him, you could.
Starter through most of his career, although it sounds like for now the Rangers will have some sort of relief role for Montgomery. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Dylan Beavers, who struck out his last time. And loops this ball toward right center field. That's falling for a base hit. So a 2-strike hit for Beavers moves O'Neill to second base. And for the second straight inning, the Orioles have a scoring threat.
And you can tell if you're looking at that stat with Nathan Eovaldi's velocity, and all of a sudden you start to redline out there and throw the baseball with max effort, and what goes with that is execution. Just not physically feeling his best, even though with that extra day. I've been there. Very difficult to try to go out there and repeat those deliveries and really, not only with the fastball, but with the effectiveness of that split finger. If your velocity is down, now the hitter can pick up on that. It's less effective.
Only threw 86 pitches tonight, comes out with 1 out here in the 6th inning. Still just 4 hits allowed by Eovaldi, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, and at this point 1 run. Wow! Tavares batting right-handed now against the lefty is behind 0-2.
That's one thing about Eovaldi, a veteran presence. No matter how he feels physically, he's going to go out there and try to post for his team, and so that's why no matter what locker room or uniform he's in, he's well respected.
No balls, 2 strikes on Leody Tavares. Swing and miss, strike 3. Alexander got him with the changeup. 2 outs here in the 6th. Kobe Mayo due up after we check in with Heidi.
Well, you mentioned the Rangers activated Jordan Montgomery today. They also activated Cody Bradford earlier this week. They should be getting Jack Leiter back soon. He's going to throw live BP tomorrow, then go on a rehab assignment. He told me he feels good. They want to use this extra pitching to hopefully give Eovaldi and DeGrom extra days between starts when they can, so that they can keep them healthy for the stretch run, guys.
It's the name of the game, the stretch run, which we are getting closer to. 2 outs with 2 on as Mayo bats. He's driven in the only run tonight. Ball, no strikes on Mayo, who's crushed left-handed pitching this year. It's this one on a bounce to third. It's Duran in for it. And it's hiring Mayo at first. So Alexander helps Eovaldi get through the 6th. It remains 1-0 Baltimore. Shane Baz has done wonderfully here tonight. 5 innings for the Orioles. He has put up 8 strikeouts, just 1 shy of his season high. He was 1 pitch away from an immaculate inning in the bottom of the 5th, and he was well aware after he spiked that breaking ball to Berger. Baz was not happy with himself.
Just got a little over aggressive, and that happens. Want to make the dirtiest pitch in that situation, but as far as mechanics, thus far, the Rise really on the same pitch, same sequencing.
First pitch to Elias Diaz, ball 1. Now Craig Albernaz, who has a catching background, couldn't say enough good things about Carlos Narvaez, who has only been around for just 4 or 5 days since the Orioles picked him up from the Red Sox in the Rutschman deal. He said Narvaez has fit like a glove with this Orioles pitching staff and what he's already brought to the pitcher meetings.
Narvaez, you can tell that he has a presence behind the plate, even with the pitch calling, pitch framing, and really showing positive emotion, saying, hey, you can make this pitch right now. And so far, so good.
2 balls and a strike on Diaz, who is doing the catching for the Rangers tonight. followed by Nicky Lopez and then Jock Peterson here in the bottom of the 6th inning, as the Rangers have been held to just 1 hit so far by Boz. Check swing bouncer. Boz goes to get it. He missed it. And Diaz is safe.
Got caught in between steps of how he was going to get down there. Usually the first couple of steps, you're thinking that the first baseman's going to get it. And bending over while the runner's hustling down the line. You see that stutter step, Wayne? He got in between, and before he can get his glove down, almost like he stepped on the baseball, overshot it. That last step, that ball just ate him up right under the heel. And maybe this could be the break for the Rangers to get their offense going.
Diaz is given a base hit, only the 2nd tonight for the Rangers. Now Nicky Lopez at the plate, the number 9 batter for Texas. Baltimore's defense this year has been spotty, to say the least. They've allowed the most unearned runs in the major leagues. Boz, as far as individual pitchers, has given up 10 unearned runs, so while not an error there, just another example of Baltimore having some trouble picking up the ball this year. It's Boz himself allowing the leadoff man on here in the bottom of the 6th. Lopez bunts. He's always been good at that. Boz will field this one and get it to Alonso for the first down.
On that one, Boz made sure he squared around that ground ball and made sure he was able to field it and took his time. But in a low-scoring affair, doing the little things. So I like that Lopez gave himself up, turns over the lineup, puts one of their better threats up there with a runner in scoring position.
So 1 out, Diaz at 2nd base. Rangers bunted Brandon Nimmo into scoring position with 2 outs in the 2nd inning, but he was left there when Jake Berger struck out. Now it's the top of the order as Jock Peterson digs in here. Peterson 0 for 2 today. He's absolutely crushed right-handed pitching this year. 19 of his 20 home runs have been against right-handed pitchers. And that ball is hammered way back to right. And if it's fair, it's gone. It is long gone. What a rocket.
Wayne, you want to talk about exit velo? That ball got out in a hurry.
About 20 rows back in the first section of bleachers, deep into the right field corner.
Talking about deep in the heart of Texas. That ball was squared up.
Rare no decision for Nathan Eovaldi tonight. Only his 3rd all year. As the Rangers take him off the hook with a monster shot from Jock Peterson, his 21st home run, his 20th off a right-handed pitcher. Shane Boz, who's been excellent tonight, gives up the lead. His misplay to start the inning is a big part of that. As Langford sends one to right field. Here's Tavares for the 2nd out.
And that's what he's thinking about right now. Ooh, got his foot down early. This stay fair.
That was a Texas-sized tater from Jock Peterson.
Man, he's been doing that for a long time, and got to do the little things. And we talked about early in the ball game, not giving away outs.
Swing and a miss by Seager.
Because that small play really swung the momentum, got the crowd back into the ball game, because it looked like this offense wasn't going to be able to get the Boston.
Fly ball, shallow left center, long run in as Cowser catches up to it. Jock Peterson's hit 12 home runs since June 23rd, 21 on the year, and this blast puts the Rangers in front. The two-time Emmy-winning comedy Ted Lasso is back for an all-new season, with Ted taking on his biggest challenge yet, coaching a second-division women's football team. Don't miss Ted Lasso Season 4, now streaming on Apple TV. Pitcher for the Rangers, Robbie Alstrom, has not been scored upon in 11 consecutive appearances. Trying to hold down a 2-1 lead here as Christian Franklin pinch hitting for Colton Cowser. Looks at strike one.
Yeah, you have Skip Schumacher being able to deploy some of his plus guys in this situation after that big swing by Jock Peterson.
Franklin made his major league debut earlier this week against the Angels. Behind in the count here, 0-2. Franklin was traded from the Washington Nationals right before the deadline to the Orioles for Joe Glassie. Reminds me of Glass Joe from Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
Legendary game. Now he's starting to talk about our age.
Well, we got to get there at some point.
Oh, 1-2.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Franklin. Orioles pinch hitters have been very successful this year. There's Jock Peterson, who gave Texas the lead.
Oh, here we go.
Baltimore's pinch hitters with 28 runs batted in this season, most in the majors, the most by any Orioles team since 1991. Hit 5 pinch hit homers along the way. Fly ball to right. Brandon Nimmo is there for that. 1 out. Carlos Narvaez will bat after we hear from Heidi.
Well, Carlos Narvaez told me he learned a ton about game planning from Garrett Cole and Jose Trevino in New York, and then in Boston from Garrett Crochet and Jason Varitek. And he brings that wealth of knowledge and a binder full of information on all the hitters he's gone up against. But he also stood up in the clubhouse and talked about the adversity the Red Sox went through this season and how the players as a group banded together to turn it around. He thinks this Orioles team can do that and make a run for the postseason, guys.
Strike to Narvaez. Well, there's certainly a lot of belief in that Baltimore clubhouse, even after the trade of Rutschman earlier in the week, and Tyler Wells and Dean Kramer, guys who've been around certainly for this Baltimore group. Wells had been doing some closing for them until just recently.
I mean, there's talent. So if you're Mike Elias, you have to believe in a situation like that. And 0 postseason wins. It's been a long time, you know. And so you get judged on being able not only to get into the postseason, but doing some damage, especially for some of these guys that you've drafted and brought up.
2014, the last time the Orioles advanced in the playoffs. They made it to the ALCS that year. It's been a while for all these teams on the list. I mean, really, the Pirates, you could say that they haven't won a playoff series, really. They won 1 game to win that wild card game in 2013. But you can go back to the 1979 World Series for the last time they won an actual series in the playoffs.
1-2.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Narvaez.
Just take it easy on the Buccos, man. We got to go over there, man. Take it easy, man. We got to get some pierogies in a couple weeks, bro.
Yeah, I heard that.
Jesus Christ. The Bucco blast. No, I agree. I hear you.
Fly ball to center field from Narvaez. Evan Carter in position for the second out. 2 up, 2 down.
Nah, I've never been a big prospect, but I dang sure been a suspect. And so you have a lot of expectation with this group, and you drafted well. And see, that was the whole thing about when all these Cowsers of the world came. It's like maybe they should go out and get a Mason Miller. Remember he was on the block, and it's like, man, they were having trouble in the back end of it. You know, and you think that your window is going to be open for a very long time in sports, and it can come and go very fast. A couple tough series, and that's all she wrote.
A challenge from the Rangers, who lost a challenge on their first pitch of the game offensively, and they're going to lose this one as well.
Texas is out of challenges.
So the Rangers, both times they've challenged tonight, they've lost against the home plate umpire John Lipka. Count here on Gunnar Henderson. 1 ball and no strikes. 2 outs with the bases empty here in the 7th. Henderson pops one toward the left field line. Long run. Duran back to the infield, and he makes the catch. What a good play by Ezekiel Duran to end the inning. The solution, he was all over it.
Put him anywhere. One of the best to do it around the league, anywhere.
MLB.TV trade deadline sale is here, now available at the low price of $34.99 through August 9th. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. Kevin Brown.
The legend.
He was incredibly good and probably underrated looking back on his career. Take a look at our Adobe standout score. What a rocket from Jock Peterson, the go-ahead 2-run homer in the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, he finally got on top of that fastball at the top of the zone and did not miss it. He's been doing that all season long. A real power threat at the top of the lineup.
Shane Baz allowing just 3 hits so far, 2 runs. We mentioned in the open, the Orioles are only 6-16 in Shane Baz's starts this year, and you're kind of seeing why. They have not scored a lot of runs for him.
Yeah, every rotation seems to have what they like to call a hard luck guy, a guy that's going out there and really pitching and giving them a chance consistently to win. And for whatever reason, the lack of run support is there. But you got to continue to bear down and throw strikes and do your job at the best of the ability.
The Orioles have only won 1 time in Baz's last 8 starts. Baz was originally drafted by the Pirates, first-round pick, and was sent to the Rays in that Chris Archer deal. That certainly worked out in Tampa Bay's favor. They got some good players for Archer. Baz dealt to the Orioles in the offseason. Michael Ferret was part of that trade, along with Caden Bodine. Ferret got sent back to Baltimore in the Tyler Wells trade that happened earlier this week, so he's back in the Orioles organization. But Baltimore gave Baz a contract extension, $68 million. At that point, he was the highest paid pitcher in franchise history. But since then, they gave a $90 million deal, an extension to Kyle Bradish, who is pitching tomorrow against DeGrom. There's a fly ball to center from Brandon Nimmo, leading off in the bottom of the 7th. It's Franklin now in center field, making the catch, 1 out.
But you see why that's a smart move, because they've struggled keeping guys healthy in that rotation. And in that ballpark, and really in that division of the AL East, you have to have guys at the top of that rotation that mound presence, and most importantly, have swing and miss stuff.
Ezekiel Duran, the batter now, a strikeout in each of his first 2 at-bats today. Shane Baz still out there into the 7th inning. As he deals ball 1, went 6 1/3 in his last start as well against the Phillies. He's made it through 7 a handful of times this year.
You don't see anybody moving in that bullpen, and they're going to keep him in there. Besides the ground ball mistake, and obviously the home run to Jock Peterson, he has been virtually flawless. Still going to give him a chance to go deep and give him a chance to win the ball game with him on the mound.
It's been a while since he allowed a home run Home run by Jock Peterson, giving the Rangers the lead. Last time Boz allowed a homer, you have to go back to June 23rd at Angel Stadium. He had made 6 straight starts without giving up a home run. He had gone 43 consecutive innings without a homer allowed until Jock Peterson took him deep last inning. 3-0 the count on Duran. There's ball 4, so Duran is on with 1 out.
I might get the bullpen going just because of the lack of command with that fastball.
Largest contracts in Orioles history, still Chris Davis #1 on that list, although Alonso making more per year. Kyle Bradish, Shane Baz, Samuel Basallo, all recent deals the Orioles have made. 4 of their 7 largest contracts ever just in the last year, as Evan Carter bats now and pops this one out.
I saw my boy Adam Jones up there for 6 years, $85 million. He still owe me $10. Sure, I will text him after this ball game. He still owe me some money on the golf course. That's my guy.
Yeah, I hope you get that straightened out.
Oh no, I don't have no change either. I hope he listens. I don't got no change for you, Jonesy.
2 outs and Duran still at first as Berger will bat. The Orioles with new ownership over the last couple of years, and that new ownership has committed to the city and the organization, and certainly handing out contracts in a way that really has not been done before in Orioles history. So they're trying to get it right. Mike Elias not exactly rebuilding, but retooling with the trade deadline.
Oh no, here you go.
They still have a lot of their key parts and a lot of their young players that they hope will lead the way moving forward.
Having a feeling of Duran jumping around there trying to do his best to make a mistake and get Boz to make a mistake. Berger at the plate.
Chop to the left side. It's grabbed by Henderson. He's only played to first. Alonso with the stretch for the out. Berger retired to end the inning. Boz makes it through 7, but on the downside of a 2-1 game. Pitch sequence tonight. Nathan Eovaldi in a bases loaded spot in the 5th inning, able to strike out Pete Alonso.
Yeah, missing the glove, but I think that split finger definitely helped him. He also abbreviated his leg kick to get Pete Alonso off balance and then locked him up with that split finger inner half in a big spot to keep the game close.
Here is Pete Alonso leading off the 8th inning in this now 2-1 lead for Texas. With their closer in the game, Jacob Latz enters in the 8th inning here. He has not pitched a whole lot over the last week. Just 1 appearance so far in the month of August. Actually had a blown save in that game against the Giants, although the Rangers did come back to win 5-4. Latz has allowed a run in 3 of his last 4 games. This guy went from being the odd man out of the starting rotation in March to an all-star closer in July.
Yeah, he took that role personal, and that was huge for him because they felt like he competed well for that rotation spot. But he has definitely settled in out of that bullpen. Not an easy transition.
Early in the year, he threw multiple innings in his save a number of times, but he has not done it since June 29th. Although this seems to be, with the lack of work lately, a 2-inning ask from Skip Schumacher in an important game for the Rangers with just a 1-run lead. 0-2 on Alonso. A fly ball to right center field. It's Evan Carter moving over in position for out number 1. Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV, presented by Essilor. Learn more about Verilux XR Series and find your local Essilor expert today at Essilor.com. Rangers trying to hold this 2-1 lead. It would get them back to 500 if they do. The Astros playing in San Diego tonight have an early 1-0 lead. Rangers chasing Houston in the American League West, a game and a half out entering today. Cam Smith with the homer to put the Astros on top early in that one. From the Orioles standpoint, the Rangers are the team that they're chasing. Baltimore is 1 game out in the wild card race. Texas holds that last spot right now. A bevy of other teams involved, including the Twins, the Guardians, the Tigers, the Mariners, and even the Blue Jays.
2-1.
This is when scoreboard watching is fun. Even funner when you get to play the teams that are in front of you late in the year. One of those situations, and so far it seems like it's going to be a low-scoring affair. And the Orioles have played a ton of games that have been decided in 3 runs or less, but they have not been successful in that department.
Cleveland already won tonight. They beat the White Sox 8-2. Holiday's down on strikes. A foul tip for strike 3.
Excellent thrown fastball. Lefty on lefty. That's the angle you want to drive that fastball. No telling action, and Holiday overextending.
So now Tyler O'Neill, who has worn out left-handed pitching of late, walked his last time. Facing Latz with 2 out, nobody on here in the 8th. No strike 1. Free and easy from Jacob Latz so far in this performance. He's retired the first 2 hitters quickly in this 8th inning. Over to the right side and out of play. Booger out of room. A good pitching matchup tomorrow with Jacob deGrom and Kyle Bradish on another nationally televised game tomorrow night. A lot of money on the mound tomorrow between those two.
Yes, I know guac is extra.
Still 0-2 on Tyler O'Neill. We talked about it earlier, but ultimately it was a big pick-me-up for the Rangers when Jacob deGrom was asked about his no-trade clause, and he said, I don't think so. I want to win right here.
And Skip Schumacher said, I don't need to say anything after that, especially that type of guy staying packed in our locker room.
He has such a commanding presence. Jacob deGrom, 2-time Cy Young winner, and at one time easily the best pitcher in the game for a few years. Still a formidable force on the mound as the ace of this Ranger staff. Two balls, 2 strikes. Latz trying to hold a 1-run lead for this inning and likely one more. From 0-2 to 3-2 on Tyler O'Neill.
Yeah, this is one of those situations, and you know the power that he possesses if you're Latz, especially against left-handed pitching.
Ball 4.
That's ball 4. So Latz ends up issuing a 2-out walk. Jacob deGrom signed a 5-year deal with the Rangers after the 2022 season when the Mets made the playoffs. deGrom left town, underwent Tommy John surgery, though in his first year with Texas was not really a part of the Rangers championship run. And since returning from that injury, he continues to be near the top of his game, and certainly a guy who can put together solid month or a couple of months if the Rangers want to jump on his back for a push to the playoffs.
Especially his experience when you came over to Texas, you were hoping that he can stay healthy and really regain that form that you know and love in a New York Met uniform. And slowly but surely, you start to see the velocity come back, the command, as well as the presence.
Jeremiah Jackson is the pinch hitter for Dylan Beavers here in the 8th inning. Christian Encarnacion Strand in the on-deck circle. What a surprise they didn't go to Encarnacion Strand now, since he has the more power of the two. There are 2 outs in this inning. Jackson pops it up. Medium depth center field. It's Evan Carter standing under it, and Jacob Latz works around a 2-out walk. He preserves a 2-1 lead for Texas.
Oh, boys, come on. Get up, baby. Out of the way, out of the way.
Jock Peterson with a crashing blow in the bottom of the 6th, giving the Rangers a 2-1 lead. That's still the score here in the bottom of the 8th. Shane Baz steals ball 1 to Elias Diaz. Corey Ragsdale, the third base coach for the Rangers, mic'd up tonight.
Well, what he said to Jock, get through that baseball. Big swing. Could be the chance that holds it all up.
Well, what really started that inning was Diaz hitting a little dribbler up the first base side. So we see Jackson staying in the game to play left field. That Shane Baz reached for and couldn't grab. That allowed Diaz to reach on an infield hit to start the inning. And Baz makes that play. Maybe things turn out differently in that 6th inning.
The momentum shifted, because for a lot of these innings, Baz was efficient. A lot of swing and miss, racking up strikeouts, and then all of a sudden, that's why you don't assume anything on a baseball field. Little miscue. Excellent job by Lopez to be able to turn over that lineup after that bunt. Get Peterson in a situation where runners in scoring position. 1 pitch, now the momentum swings over to the Texas Rangers.
Baz had 90 pitches still on the mound here in the 8th inning. He has not recorded an out in the 8th inning of a game yet this season. He's only completed 8 innings in a game once in his career last June in Kansas City when he was with the Rays. 2-2. A swing and a miss, strike 3. Still a lot of pop on that fastball. 9th strikeout for Baz. Our PNC play of the game. We take you back to that 6th inning.
PFP tried to break down his steps, but that last one caused him to overextend and then homer. And Jock was hunting that fastball. It didn't matter where that ball was going to be thrown. He made sure that he was going to be on time. As soon as he barreled it, just hoping that it stayed fair.
Here's a fly ball to center from Lopez, with Franklin there for that. 2 up, 2 down here in the 8th inning. Shane Baz, 7 2/3 innings now. 1 out shy of his career high in innings pitched. He has tied his season high with 9 strikeouts. He's never had a complete game in his major league career, and he could get one here, although I don't think he wants it now, because that means the Orioles would lose the game. It'd be a CG loss if he makes it through 8 innings and the Orioles don't come back in the top of the 9th. Here is Peterson, who hit that home run, and he hits a fly ball to right here. He got under this one toward the line. It's Taveras, and he makes the catch in foul territory. So Baz has made it through 8, and he's hoping it's not a complete game.
They call me the outlaw, man with no name. I go unnoticed, yeah, it's all a game.
Shane Baz made 2 mistakes in the bottom of the 6th, one defensively and one on that home run pitch to Jock Peterson. Otherwise, a brilliant effort from Baz. He has not been rewarded, though, by his team's offense. The Orioles, who have scored just 10 runs so far in their 6 games in the month of August, have managed just 1 in the first 8 innings tonight. And they'll need to get 1 more to take Baz off the hook with an all-star closer on the mound. Jacob Latz. Leody Taveras bats for himself to start the 9th inning as he takes ball 1 from Jacob Latz.
Yeah, if you're the Baltimore Orioles, got to find some consistency offensively, especially you talked about the division. Want any chance to get into that postseason, they have to play better. You can't waste outings like this from your rotation.
Only 3 hits in this game for the Rangers. The Orioles have 5. They've only managed 1 run. Baltimore so far in the month of August 3 for 21 with runners in scoring position.
It's not going to get it done. You can throw the ball as well as you want to. There's a consistent lack of a scoring threat. That's going to put a ton of pressure. Have to put pitch perfect for the rotation.
1 ball 2 strikes. Taveras, it's a soft bouncer, tough play. Duran with the bare hand, the throw, it's too late. Taveras, the leadoff hit.
You knew that was going to be a tough play, especially the way that Taveras moves, and with that type of swing, the momentum's already pushing you to first base. Swings, that second bounce, not too many third basemen in baseball is going to be able to get Taveras out with that type of speed. He is hustling.
So the former Ranger is on to begin the 9th inning. Leody Taveras with an infield single. And now Kobe Mayo has the only RBI in this game for the Orioles. A 2-out single in the 2nd represents the go-ahead run. Can't sleep on the power of Mayo here. He has 15 home runs on the season.
Well, he's definitely going to look to try to drive the baseball now with the 2-0 count.
His OPS over 1,000 against left-handers this year. 11 of his 15 home runs have come off left-handed pitching. 2 balls and no strikes with Taveras at first. And Mayo rips 1 foul. It's 2-1.
Did not tell you he had green light. That head cleared. He got his foot down before that ball was even released.
Best slugging percentage in all of baseball against left-handers. 24-year-old Mayo. Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, which has become quite a baseball school now. Anthony Rizzo, Jesus Luzardo, and Roman Anthony all from there.
Parkland, Florida. They're still ranked in the top 25 in the country.
2 balls and a strike on Mayo with Taveras at first. Leadoff infield hit here in the 9th inning. Now Mayo has the count even more in his favor. It's 3-1.
Tough in these situations, Wayne, to continue to stay in your game plan, whether you're on the mound or in the box.
Swing and a miss. That's went to the changeup on 3-1.
You want to talk about a gutsy pitch. He could easily double up on that. Try to get Mayo to roll over or swing through that, but Mayo with those swings, he's looking middle in.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Struck him out. The changeup again.
Excellent call by Diaz. That's recognize and see, this is a nuance that is missing in this sport. Following the swing. Most people, even though they get back into the count, they might want to charge with the fastball. No. double up with the changeup and get the huge strikeout.
So 1 out, and now Christian Franklin will bat for himself here. He lines it toward the right field corner. That's a fair ball. It bounces to the wall. Taveras gets to third. He's being waved home. Relay to the plate. Taveras out.
Wow.
Immediately, the Orioles ask for a review. Nimmo hit Lopez, who fired it home.
Excellent replay.
Baltimore challenging the play at the plate.
Did Diaz hold the ball at the end here? Replay review powered by Zoom. The tag, did he even tag him?
There's so much contact before Taveras even touches home plate.
I'm not sure that he ever tagged him.
I think they're going to try to look and see as Diaz comes over the top. Does he touch the hand? It looks like he does.
Also, did he hang on to the ball at the end of the play? See the ball kind of wiggle out. Did it touch the ground? Did he lose it at any point? A lot to look at here for the replay review powered by Zoom. For Christian Franklin, it's his first major league hit. And what hangs in the balance here, it's a game-tying RBI double, or it's the second out of the inning made at the plate. You know, I'll tell you, Diaz definitely makes contact with the left hand of Taveras. But I don't know that the mitt ever makes contact. It seemed like he hit him with his arm and not his mitt.
Now it's a short hop. He gives the lane, swings his arm, and Taveras is not at the plate, so there's so much contact between the arm as he's coming down on his body. Nice pick right there. Ball's in the glove.
He touches him with his arm, but I don't know if he ever touched him with the mitt.
I think as the arm is transcending down, because he's not there, and then maybe the bottom of the mitt and the top of the oven mitt of Taveras' left arm.
Nicky Lopez said, "That's your first hit?"
There's a lot going on the field and in the booth right now. It's a lot going on.
Well, remember, the call on the field was out, so there needs to be enough evidence to overturn that. And what we saw on that play at the plate, even in slow motion, makes it very difficult to determine for sure.
And now all of a sudden it's turned into a postseason environment. What a relay, what a play. This is the stuff we know and love in baseball.
It's also the question if Diaz hung on to the ball all the way through, kind of snow cone to the top of his mitt. Did it ever touch the ground? In which case it would be trapped. It's hard to tell that,
After
too.
review, the call on the field stands, runners out.
Wow. The call on the field stands. Taveras is out. Franklin's first major league hit, a double, but he's at second. He remains the tying run, and what a relay by the Rangers.
As soon as that ball was down, I'm looking at Nimmo to see if he can get the excellent bounce and get that ball back to one of his cutoff men, and he did. Great communication to Lopez to say turn and fire 4.
That was beautifully done by both Nimmo and Lopez on the relay.
See, that kick was everything, because if that ball stays against the wall, they have no shot. The little things, Wayne, win you ball games, get you in the postseason. An excellent pick with the runner blowing down on you.
Well, a great job by Diaz to hang on to the ball. That ball does trickle out at all. The runner is safe. Can't imagine that they found anything definitive either way. as to when or if that mitt touched Tavares before he touched home plate. An incredibly close play, a bang-bang play at the plate, and an exciting 26th out for the Texas Rangers. They still need to get one more. And here's Carlos Narvaez. Ooh. This is Encarnacion Strand instead of Narvaez, as the Orioles deploy one more man off their bench.
He was trying to regain that lead with that type of swing. He is looking to drive that ball.
He has a lot of power, Encarnacion Strand. He has shown that over the years in Cincinnati. Another good cut there.
Better fastball by Latz, though. Most big guys want to get their arms extended so they can drive the ball, especially the opposite field, but that fastball right there was driven right where he wanted it.
2 outs, 2 strikes here in the 9th inning. Jacob Latz for now holding a 1-run lead, surviving a very close play at the plate with Leody Taveras thrown out at home. It's 0-2 on Encarnacion Strand. Ball 1.
That's a show me pitch. I think they're really trying to get him to gauge the velocity, but ultimately I think Latz wants to throw that changeup down. The same type of changeup he threw to Mayo. We'll see.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss, strike 3. He blows the fastball by him, and Jacob Latz survives the 8th and the 9th to hold a 2-1 win for the Texas Rangers.
Well-pitched ball game on both sides. Timely hits, great defense, everything you want in a big-time matchup for both teams that are trying to get into the postseason. Huge win for the Rangers. That is a tough, heartbreaking loss for the O's, especially the way their offense is sputtering around, and finally they get some life in their last chance, and what a bang-bang play. And a huge out for the Texas Rangers.
Tough luck loss for Shane Baz, who throws a complete game but loses it 2-1. Baltimore falls to 2 back in the wild card. Still 2 more games in this series, but now the Rangers are 3-1 this year against the Orioles as they move back to the 500 mark. Christian Franklin with a first major league hit he'll never forget. That was some play at the plate. Texas holding on to that and holding on to the lead with it as the Rangers pull off a 2-1 win on a night where they only get 3 hits, but one of them was a long hit from Jock Peterson. He is standing by with Heidi Watney.
Jock, you hit one a mile. You leaned back on that one. Did you think it was going foul?
It was a cutter. I wasn't sure, but kept it fair, so that was nice. That was nice.
You got 13 homers in your last 33 games. What's been the difference for you?
I don't know. I don't keep track. I just try to put together a good at bat. Things are coming together. We're playing good baseball. That relay home was spectacular. So just put together a stack of good days, and we'll put ourselves in a good spot.
Yeah, Brandon Nimmo dug that one out in the corner, and then the relay home, Lopez to Diaz. What has Nimmo brought to this team? Lopez just got you.
He did. That's for nothing. For nothing.
I wouldn't say that's nothing. This is a big win for you guys.
Yeah, no, Nimmo is grit. I think he's a very grindy player. He's prepared. He shows up every day. He competes. Never takes a pitch off, and I love being his teammate. It's fun to play behind him.
You told me this afternoon this was a confusing week. What does this team need to do to go on a run?
I think just continue to believe in ourselves, stick together, and put together games like that.
Thanks, John.
Jock Peterson stood up on one, a 2-run homer in the bottom of the 6th. That was the decisive blow here tonight.
Huge swing. Love this ball game. I knew it was going to be a good one tonight. We come back here in 2 weeks, baby.
And the Angels will be here then. Jock Peterson sending one out. The Rangers back to 500 with a 2-1 win against Baltimore tonight in a well-played game. We'll be back to wrap it up in just a moment.
Saddle up, saddle up. Man, you better saddle up.
Life was too hard. That
truly is America's greatest pastime.
You don't believe.